Hey guys, how's it going? Rob here with the video, and today we're going to talk about root. This is a requested video. I know a lot of you guys do know what root is. Some people know or have heard of it or have read about it in forums and blogs and stuff, but we're going to try to simplify for those who don't understand what it is to know exactly what it is. So let's get into it. So, what is root? That is a big question some people ask. What is root exactly? Okay, so root is also known as super user permissions. So when you see in blogs, you see people talk about root and then talk about super user permissions, they're talking about the same thing. It's not really much of a difference. Super user permission is what root does. It gives your device permissions to manipulate, alter, or change things. Otherwise, the carrier or the manufacturer or carrier wouldn't want you to change. So let's take Android into a simple analogy for you guys to understand how this works. Say you have a remote control car, a really nice one, okay? And you know, it functions, it runs, it does what it needs to do, and it's built a certain way, out of the box. And then you got a cabinet full of extra parts, like you have extra tires, you have different types of motors, and then you have paint and decals to really change the appearance of your remote control car, and it's locked. So what root is, basically, it's the key that unlocks the cabinet, giving you access to all that paint and decals and tires and motors. That would be the easy analogy I can give for what root is. Just the key. It unlocks the phone. It unlocks Android smartphones from whatever manufacturer, and there are many ways to do it. There's just not one way. So what worked for a Samsung device may not work for an HTC device. You know, there's always different ways of doing it just because of, you know, Android is not built by one manufacturer. It's many manufacturers use Android, and then they throw their own little spin on it. So when you root your device, some of the things you can do that's beneficial to you. One would be uninstalling bloatware. If you don't know what bloatware is, just to give you a little definition, it's applications that's pre-installed on your Android device that you really don't use otherwise, and it is safe to remove if you need to. However, the carriers don't want you to remove it, so it is installed as a system file, which cannot be deleted unless you have super user permissions, also known as root access. And the only way you can is by installing a file manager, which will require root access in order for it to function, to go into the system files, to go into the application folder under system files, and to find that one application that you don't want and delete it, as long as it's safe. There are applications you should not delete, and for me, really, for a good rule of thumb, I just go with carrier apps. Anything that has to do with the carrier, I outs it. It's gone, it's deleted. I don't need it. I don't need Verizon TV. I don't need, you know, AT&T, whatever. I don't need T-Mobile's, you know, TV. I don't need none of that. I don't need Sprint NASCAR. I don't need none of that stuff. It's just taking up valuable space that I could use for another application, and so I delete those. Other things you can do with root is, say there's a feature on a certain device that you know for a fact will work on your device, but your device was never built with it. Let's take the Galaxy Note, for example. The Galaxy Notes have a multi-window user interface. You can open up as many windows and have them run alongside, which basically is multitasking. And say, you know, my LG Vault didn't have it, but if my LG Vault was able to run such a feature, you know, a feature like that on it, there would be a way to port it. Well, in order to port it over, I would need super user permissions to edit some of the framework files and just some of the core files that will allow it to work and run properly on my LG Vault. That's another reason why you would need root. Other things is operating systems, custom operating systems from developers such as you, me, and your every your average everyday person that's at home and knows how to compile files and build ROMs. This becomes beneficial because there's one of the biggest things that people don't like about Android is the fact that when they buy a phone, it may get 1 or 2 updates, most likely 1, very rarely 2, but never 3. And it sucks because for a fact that your device would be able to run the newest version of Android. As of this moment, it's 5.1 Lollipop. But for some reason, the carriers don't want to push that into effect. The manufacturer doesn't want to get a development team together to develop for that specific device. And so they just leave it on whatever version of Android it's on and let it fall into the wayside, which also then forces you to, if you want to have the latest and greatest of Android, have to buy a new device that has the most current version. And this is a way to kind of save money, because when your device is rooted and you can install a custom ROM built by a developer and it's stable and it's working just fine, you'll be able to flash that onto your phone and run the latest version of Android with no problems. Real quick, I'm not telling you guys that you guys have to do that. So if you guys ever decide to do that, you're doing it at your own risk. So continuing on, so those are some of the reasons why root is beneficial to you, to anyone out there. Now, if you're fine with the way your phone is, then there really is no reason to root the phone. Just leave it the way it is. But if you're someone that just really has to tinker with the phone, you have to have the latest version of Android, or you really want to get rid of all those bloatware applications, then yeah, root is going to be a tool that helps you out. But also, there are things that you need to know. For instance, if you do root your device, yes, carriers will give you a hard time about it. Manufacturers will void your warranty. And so, yeah, you really get no support from the manufacturers or from the carrier if your device is rooted. And there's really not a huge good reason why they do that. When it comes to the manufacturers, the reason why they void your warranty is because if you do not know what you're doing and you messed up your device because you rooted it and you did something that wasn't supposed to be done, then they don't want to have to waste time fixing a device that was messed up because you didn't know what you were doing. It kind of sounds messed up on their end, but then again, that's like hours that could have been done developing something new, having to go to repair a device. For carriers, they don't, there's certain features that, like, say if you want to tether your Wi-Fi, most carriers charge you to do that. But when your phone's rooted, there are applications that tether your Wi-Fi, your phone's signal as Wi-Fi, and you don't have to pay for it. And that's what carriers have a big beef with. So, anyways, that's pretty much it for this video. It's kind of dragging out to be a 10-minute video. So I'm going to end it right now. Hopefully I was able to explain what root is and some of the things you can do with root. And for those of you guys that know what I'm talking about, if I've missed anything, feel free to comment what else I missed in the comment section of this video. Let's make it for everyone out there to understand, So I do appreciate anyone else commenting if I left anything out. If you have any more questions, leave them in the comment section of this video. It's warranted, and I will answer them as soon as I can. If you guys enjoyed this video, let me know by giving me that thumbs up. So it tells me you guys did. And if you have not subscribed, please do so. Hit that subscribe button for more videos like this and others in the future. My name is Rob with NGTV. Thank you guys for watching. You guys are awesome. I'll see you guys later.